Dr. Tokunbo Pearse joins us now. He is a member of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning.
Well, let's start with your impression about preparations for these elections. Perhaps you could start with the collection of the permanent voter cards and the extension issued by INEC.
Well, the decision by INEC to give more days to the collection of the PVC, I think it's vital, very important. Hopefully, most people would have got their PVCs before election date. And if that happens, then we will have a free and fair election. At least people will not be disenfranchised. But there's still a lot of challenges facing INEC regarding the distribution of PVCs now.
Such as?
Well, I understand that in many centers you have a lot of PVCs and people are not collecting them because they don't know. Some don't know that the PVCs are ready. And INEC is not doing enough to get the word out to people. I think they should have literature out with people's names in the neighborhood, and so that people would know that the PVCs are ready.
I know in some towns they're using town criers as well.
Sure.
So
things like
they're
that.
not resting on their oars to ensure that that word is out there for people to come out.
I hope they do the same in Lagos because, you know, there are many places where there's still a lot of complaints. But people cannot be disenfranchised. It's just not, it's unthinkable.
I think your suggestion is very important here,
yes,
that INEC should actually get word out to the people, perhaps if they have a centralized place where people can go and check the list, because they keep going. That's just the issue. They keep going, and for some, they don't have access to numbers to call, and by the time they go once, twice, they just give up. With this new date, which ends in, I think this weekend,
yeah, February 8th.
February 8th. What more effort can the political parties like yours do in conjunction with INEC to get the words out to the people to go all out and get their cards?
I think that if INEC will provide the list of names of people whose cards are ready, and then we circulate those names in the community with flyers when we go to campaign, so that people will know, publish it in the newspapers. So if I don't see my name, you may see it and you say, look, I saw your name in the papers, that you should go and pick up your permanent voter's card. So more of that kind of thing should be done. As you said, town criers say, look, Mr. Chamberlain, your PVC is ready. You haven't come to collect it, you know. So that's one way, you know, that will reduce the detention now.
Yeah, but if they were to call each individual's name, that would be some work for those criers.
No, as I said, publish the names, have it in flyer form, put it in the newspapers, but you got to announce it. And it's all local anyway.
What about
you do it locally?
Party agents, for instance, maybe you assign 1, 2, or 3 of them for each point to go to INEC's office, maybe regularly, to see which is ready, so that they in turn can come back and report to the party or report to that particular registration point and say, these are the ones that are already ready. Will that help?
Well, the problem with that is something similar is going on now, and it's been totally abused, where you find people who belong to one party only interested in telling people who they believe are their party members that their PVCs are ready.
So information has been hoarded?
Oh yes, all that is going on. So this is why INEC must be independent. I don't think you can rely on the parties to do this job. And so it is simply INEC's responsibility with its ad hoc staff and so on to get the word out there. That's why I said just have the printout so nobody knows. It doesn't matter whether you're PPC or PDP or whatever party, just have the names out there and circulate those names and be sure that they're ready.
I think so let's take you up on
yes,
the independence of INEC.
Yes.
Do you have confidence in the body?
I do. And you see, I believe that people must realize the weight of the responsibilities on them. This is why I really take objection to leaders who speak carelessly, because the implication is serious. We must have statesmen and stateswomen, otherwise we are not making progress. And everything begins with the individual. Leadership begins with character, and character is individual. So everybody must realize, if you work for INEC, trust me, if I work for INEC, I won't listen to anybody from any party. This is a national assignment. You must be independent. If INEC is not independent, then we are all in trouble.
So I'm taking your word. The first question was, you have confidence in INEC. Assuming we're looking at a scale from 1 to 100, what should be your level of confidence?
You see, I have confidence in the chairman of INEC, and he has done a good job so far. The problem with INEC is logistics, you know. I mean, you have all these PVCs, and they're not even getting out. People will come, and, you know, it's a lot of work to be done. And the level of competence you find in INEC is reflective of the kind of competence you have in the country.
Well,
we have a lot of challenges.
A lot of people would appreciate that, you know, problem of logistics, the challenge of logistics.
Sure.
But in spite of it, what would you say, or how would you rate your confidence in a scale of 1 to 100, if 100 was the highest you could give?
You see, the most important thing for me is honesty. There's a difference between being efficient and being dishonest. The dishonesty part is where I know that INEC is improved a great deal. As far as efficiency, there's still a long way to go.
You're not willing to give figures in terms of rating, for instance?
Well,
I'm just curious. I mean, if you're to award marks,
okay,
as,
but
like a lecturer,
there has to be different category. There has to be category for honesty and sincerity. There's less corruption there. I will give them pass mark there, 60%. And then for efficiency, I would say that maybe they're lacking 45, 48.
Okay.
But this call about temporary voter cards to be used alongside the PVCs if perhaps we're not able to distribute, if not all of these remaining PVCs. Do you subscribe to it as well?
I do. All I want is to be able to vote, because I still don't have my PVC now.
But have we been able to ask INEC if they can combine the use of the temporary voter card and the permanent voter card? Because there are those who still have the permanent ones and the temporary ones.
Oh, I thought you give up the temporary one when you go to...
That's what he said. The same way that some people have 2 permanent voter cards.
Well,
I know they may say it's negligible, but...
Yeah, but even if you have 2, if you have 5 voters cards, you still can only vote once, because there are ways to process that and make sure you don't double vote. So that's not so much of an issue. But if by the time we get to the 8th of February and we still don't have our voters' cards, permanent voters' cards, and INEC is saying that we must vote with permanent voters' cards, then we have a problem. But if by the time we get to the 8th of February and INEC realizes that there are many people there who still don't have the permanent voters' cards, then they will have to come up with an alternative.
So what's the story behind yours not out?
Well, just like many other people in the country, it just hasn't got to me yet. What they tell me is that by this weekend, we would get ours.
And you didn't just
everything
register?
has to do.
Did you just register? You registered 2011?
Yes, I voted in 2011. I have my temporary.
And your data wasn't lost? It wasn't amongst those that were lost?
No. What happened in some polling booths, for some reason, the permanent voters' cards are not ready. And they've been coming up gradually, because in my area, Lagos mainland, there's some polling booths near me that have just collected theirs. There's some where they have serious problems, and they say everybody there has to re-register, and they have done so, and they've been going to distribute their permanent voters' cards. So INEC is overwhelmed. It is tough.
That would have been scandalous. I mean, assuming you were the candidate of the PDP and you know, you did not have your permanent voter's card.
It doesn't matter.
How many
what
days
I'm saying is we must vote.
Well, I know. What I'm simply saying is that it would have been a little scandalous that, you know,
No.
the candidate could not vote in his own election.
No. Election day is not here yet.
It's not here yet.
Yes,
so you're still
that's what I'm saying.
confident
Oh, yes.
that card will show up.
I am sure.
And you would tell a lot of Nigerians to also share in your confidence that
We
their
have
cards
to,
will show up.
because I see the effort that INEC is putting into this. You know, as you said, I'm a teacher, and I understand that you may be a poor student, but if we see you working hard, trying your best to do the right thing, then we have to give you credit for that and say, hopefully all will be well.
Good to hear. I mean, you don't fall into the category of those who just want it verbatim. Just give me what I gave you back in school. Some lecturers are like that. They just say, no, this is not what I want. Let me see what I gave you back. But that's an aside.